What's up, YouTube fragrance family? Tommy with Studio Sense here. Happy that you stopped by to check out today's video. Going to be taking a look at a brand new release today. It's not really a huge fragrance. It's not really a huge house in terms of people's anticipation for fragrance releases coming from this particular house. It's what you would call a knock-around designer house. And in fact, I'm wearing a shirt from the actual house itself. Simply a coincidence. I didn't actually pick this out for this video. It's a Guess fragrance. It is Guess Seductive Homme Red. So when we come back, we're going to take a closer look at this fragrance. I'll give you my first impressions after we do the unboxing. That and more is coming your way, so stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone. Again, happy that you stopped by to check out today's video. I'm actually kind of excited for this one, even though it's kind of a low-level fragrance in terms of fragrance house. In fact, you can get this at most discounters right now for just over 20 bucks or just at 20 bucks, and that is Guess Seductive Homme Red. Now, the interesting thing about Guess is, surprisingly, for just a basic designer fragrance and line, the Seductive Homme line has been a really solid line of fragrances. So I'm really curious about Guess Seductive Homme Red, especially when I read through the notes, and I'll definitely share those with you momentarily. But first, let's go ahead and check out that presentation. I'm going to go ahead and take the cellophane off here. Cut the volume while I was taking the cellophane off because nobody wants to hear that. So the box is actually kind of cool. You've got several tones, I would say probably 4 tones of the color of red. You've got a maroon where there is a gold Guess Seductive Homme Red. The words are all in gold. It is an eau de toilette concentration, 3.4 fluid ounces or 100 ml bottle. On the sides of the box, you've got red on the very back. You'll notice there's some trademark information. You've got guess.com. You've got some other information, the address information. On the very bottom, you've got your ingredients listing, your UPC LK14 is the batch code, and some stickers. Nothing on the other side. On the very top, there's nothing, and that is pretty much it for the box. So basically, you've got a lighter color of red for the lid that is plastic, and then you've got a gold band going around, separating the plastic from the glass, and you've got Guess indented or embossed in the gold band. The glass itself is colorized. The juice may be red as well, but this is definitely the glass color that you're seeing. Lid pops off like that, and there is the gold atomizer. On the bottom of the bottle, you've got some cleats or nubs that it sits on, and then a very tiny sticker, if you can even see that, with the information about the fragrance. So that is the presentation, and you can definitely see fingerprints with that background. All of the bottles in the Seductive Homme line are pretty much exactly the same except for the difference in the colors. However, I'm happy to see that there are slight improvements that they've made in the form and the function of the bottle itself. The other bottles, the lid is relatively loose, and so this one is a little bit tighter. You can still turn it like this, which is okay, but it's not ready to fall off, which on several of my bottles of Seductive Homme line, they're very loose. But this one you can actually hold it up by the lid, and that's pretty cool. So presentation, it's really good. So let's talk a little bit about the note breakdown of Seductive Homme Red. Guess Seductive Homme Red features top notes of lemon zest, cinnamon, and fig, with heart notes of orange blossom, kumquat, and geranium, resting on a base of Indian sandalwood, vanilla, and amber. Sounds like a pretty interesting lineup of notes in this formula. So what I'm curious about, though, is what direction is it going to go in? Is this going to be a spring and summer kind of fragrance, or is it going to be more fall and winter for cooler weather? If it goes in the direction of most other design houses with their red version of a fragrance, then it's probably going to be for cooler weather. So, wow. Okay, so not only in form factor, there's been improvements, but that atomizer is massively improved. This is more like an expensive atomizer where you can kind of generate the kind of spray that you want. You can trickle it, or you can release a bunch. So it's like a metered kind of spray, which they don't usually do in cheaper fragrances. So I'm really happy to see that in Seductive Homme Red. I don't know that it's an improvement on Seductive Homme Noir. I still really like Seductive Homme Noir, but there may be a slight improvement in the dry down. And I'll try to explain what I mean by that. I really like Seductive Homme Noir, but there's something about the smell when it dries down. There's something in it that I don't really, it kind of kicks to the territory of like an aroma chemical metallic kind of smell that I don't really care for. The reason I don't really talk about it a lot when I talk about the fragrance is that it may just be me, although I do mention it just in case other people pick up on that. So I'm basically assuming it's part of the cheap aroma chemical used in the fragrance itself. So I'm going to go ahead and spray it on my skin and wait for a few moments for it to dry down. I'll tell you if it has that same weird feature in the dry down and tell you which one is my favorite. So we'll come right back to that. Okay, so that funky whatever it is that's in the dry down of Seductive Homme Noir is definitely not in Seductive Homme Red. Basically what you really get when you spray this on, I don't get lemon zest, but I do get the cinnamon, definitely cinnamon. Cinnamon is like, let's say you had a super group that you got together to fight crime. One of them was Superman, one of them was Batman, and one of them was Hawkeye. Well, Batman and Hawkeye are just regular Joes, right? They just have cool costumes and tools that they use in their arsenal to fight crime. And yet Superman is this, he's got super strength. That's kind of like what lemon zest and fig are. Lemon zest is Hawkeye and fig is Batman. And then you've got cinnamon, which is Superman, who really is overpowered. So really when you spray this on, you're just getting an overload of cinnamon, which isn't a bad thing. Anything that's red is going to have that, hot, that heat to it, that spiciness that you come to expect. So you've got a little bit of kumquat, maybe a little bit of geranium. I think I'm catching the orange blossom just a hair, but primarily you're getting a nice mixture or balance of sandalwood, vanilla, amber, and cinnamon. So you can't really pick out these other notes, but it's just a really nice blend of those cooler weather fragrant notes. But what about the performance? The performance of this, I can't really speak to the longevity, of course. Right out of the bottle, it's extremely spicy. It has a really nice spicy opening of cinnamon, but then fig kind of cuts the edge off the cinnamon and keeps it from being too harsh, right? And so you've got a little bit of orange blossom, softer floral citrus, we'll say, that is introducing your sandalwood, your amber, and your vanilla base, which is again the primary constituents of this fragrance. And that's why I'm going to say for usage, this is going to be pretty much a whatever you want kind of use. It's definitely coming across as more of a kind of a casual, a low-key casual fragrance. There's not a ton of refinement in this. It's just going to be an all-around general use fragrance for cooler weather. My only concern with Guess Seductive Homme Red is within the performance scenario is the projection, because while it is a spicy fragrance, while I do really like it when you first spray it on and that first 20 minutes after dry down, after that it becomes rather a soft fragrance. And I'm not saying it necessarily a skin scent, although hours later, that's probably what it's going to become, but it's definitely not going to be a beast of projection. If you're looking for that in a $25 fragrance, there are some out there, very few. Primarily what you're getting out of this is a very enjoyable fragrance for a few hours, and then after that, it's just going to be something that you personally enjoy, because not a ton of people are going to be able to smell this on you unless they are right up on you. So that's the only thing about Seductive Homme Noir Red that you can expect later on. How far this fragrance carries remains to be seen. I'm just going to provide that warning to you right away so that you don't think you're getting something that's an absolute banger out of Seductive Homme Red. Guys, that's my quick unboxing and first impression of Guess Seductive Homme Red. Thanks so much for stopping by and checking out today's video. And as always, thank you so much for your support on my channel. I'm Tommy with Studio Sense, and I'll see you tomorrow.